F1 shock, logo could land authorities in legal battle because of copyright issue. It could put the sports owner, Liberty Media, on a collision course with the teams, as the greater F1's costs are, the lower its profits and the less prize money it can pay out. A row is already revving up between the teams and Liberty, which bought F1 for £6 billion at the start of last year and has been boosting its spending since then. Over the past 12 months, Liberty has moved F1's headquarters to a plush new office block in central London, doubled the staff numbers and launched costly promotional events, starting with one on the streets of the capital in July last year. It contributed to the team's prize money reversing by £6 to £470 million over the first 9 months of 2017, so if F1 has to shell out more just to use its own logo, it could accelerate tensions, especially as the new brand has had a frosty reception. Asked what he thought as it was unveiled on the podium at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in November, race winner Valtteri Bottas said, "I kind of like the old one. I only saw it very quickly." Rival Ferrari driver Sebastian Vettel joked, "Just say you don't like the new one." This was echoed by reigning champion Lewis Hamilton, who said the one that we already had was an iconic logo. "I think. Just imagine Ferrari changing their logo, or Mercedes changed their logo. I don't think the new one is as iconic, but maybe it will grow on us." F1's previous logo had been used for 23 years and cleverly created the silhouette of a number 1 between a slanted letter F and the speed lines opposite it. In contrast, the F and its successor is simply formed from a curved stripe with a white line running through it, followed by a line which represents the number 1. Fans branded it horrible and hideous, but an even bigger obstacle has now come to light. An F in the same style has been used by 3M for the past year as the logo of its Futuro brand of tights, which protect airline passengers from the risk of deep vein thrombosis. It is understood that the logo has been designed to become the main brand for Futuro's products, which also include ankle and foot supports as well as wrist braces. A 3M spokesperson confirmed that it hasn't given F1 permission to use the design and told the Daily Telegraph that 3M filed a U.S. trademark application for the Futuro logo on February. Also, "We have not had any discussions about the logo with the other party. We are looking into this matter further." Records show that 3M applied for a pan-European trademark to the logo on 17 February and it was registered 4 months later. It gives 3M precedence, as F1 didn't lodge the application for its new logo until November and European authorities are still deciding whether to register it. The obstacle could be Liberty's plan to launch a line of clothing featuring the new logo at the season-opening Australian Grand Prix in March. F1's trademark application covers 24 of the 45 options, including one for clothing but excluding the one relating to special clothing for medical purposes, which 3M's logo is registered in. However, even though they cover different categories, that doesn't guarantee F1 protection. This is because the products the logos are used on are so similar. In 2008, Eleanor Sharpston, of the European Court of Justice, concluded that trademarks are protected by a basic rule which prevents the registration or use of a sign identical or similar to a registered trademark, for goods or services identical or similar to those for which the mark is registered. In short, if an application is made for a logo which is similar to one which has already been registered, it can't be used on similar or identical products. The problem for F1 is that not only do the two logos look almost identical, but 3M has a registration to use its logo on tights, which are clothing, and this is a category that the sport wants to use its logo in. Worse still, the similarity of the logos is one of the driving forces behind whether the European authorities will wave through F1's new brand. According to trademark authorities, what matters is the degree of the similarity of the goods, services and the signs. A lesser degree of similarity between these goods or services may be offset by a greater degree of similarity between the marks, and vice versa. So if a trademark which is being applied for is similar to one which has already been registered, it can be blocked by the European authorities even if the category of goods it applies to is not identical. If the European authorities give F1 its new logo the red light, it would need to be driven by opposition. Trademark applications can only attract opposition once they have been published in a journal by the European authorities, and as they have not done this with the F1 logo yet, no one has been able to oppose it. Given the strong similarity between the two logos, 3M is in pole position to lodge opposition, and it is unlikely that F1 would be able to push it around. 3M may not be as well known to the public as F1, but it far eclipses it in size. At £106 billion, 3M's stock market value is £100 billion greater than F1's, and in 2016 its revenue was 17 times higher. Given that 3M owns a registered trademark to such a similar logo, it seems to be in the driving seat, especially as F1 rolled out its new brand so recently. It reduces the likelihood that F1 would want to change to yet another new logo, or revert to its old one, so soon afterwards. 3M could agree not to oppose F1's trademark application in return for payment. However, if F1 has to pay 3M, it would further reduce the team's prize money just to get a logo which they didn't ask for and has attracted widespread criticism. With the window for opposition understood to be opening soon, F1's off-track battles could be just as fascinating as those in its races this year.